Hi there, it's Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I'm here to do a What Sold from December 29th to January 4th on eBay, Poshmark, and Etsy. And the first thing to sell over on eBay was this vintage Laura Scott modest red plaid flannel long sleeve nightgown. And this sold for the full asking price, $39. And the cost to me on it was $5.99. Next item to sell was this vintage wooden hand-turned rolling pin, and this sold for $29, and the cost to me on it was $4. Next item to sell was this Banana Republic Women's Cotton Cropped Bomber. This I took an offer of $20. Cost to me on it was $6.49. Something I just wanted to move along. Next item to sell was this pair of turned wood pillar candle holders, and these sold for $29, and the cost to me on them was $4. Next item to sell was this dovetail old-fashioned colored chalk from the American Crayon Company. This was vintage, and box opened up, and there was some old chalk in there. This sold for $29.69, and the cost to me on it was $1.99. Next item to sell was this Ann Crimmins for Umi Floral Poppy silk jacket, and this sold for $39. Cost to me on this was $4.99. Next item to sell was this was 119, 109, 65. Okay, so the next item to sell was this Baldwin brass two-arm French lamp, and this sold for 109.65. And the cost to me on this, sorry, my throat. The cost to me on this was $4.99. The over to Poshmark, next item to sell was this Opal House Jungalow Natalia Floral Queen cotton set of sheets, and these were new and sold for $45. Cost to me on them was $4.99. Next item was this vintage wooden jewelry box. This sold for $20. Cost to me on it was $2.99. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It gives me a reason to be doing these every week. I hope you enjoy them. And the next item to sell on Poshmark was this Boys Heelys Bolt X2 skate shoes, and these did have a skate key inside too. I don't know if it's to help you with popping these wheels out if you need to, but These sold for $25, and the cost to me on them was $3.99. Next item to sell was this Drysdale Cowboy collared snap front shirt. This sold for $25. Cost to me on it was $6.49. Um, Next item to sell was this vintage Belgium capri wool throw run, and this one it sold for $50. I took an offer of $50 for this. And the cost to me, I had a few of these. I still have a few of these in both pink and blue. And these are nice Belgium wool rugs, and this sold for $50. Cost to me, it was about $8 a piece. Next item to sell was this Pure Jill cowl neck sweater, and this sold for $17. The cost to me on it was $3.25. The next item to sell over onto Etsy was this set of 4 drop holes, antique drop holes, and these sold for $30. And the customer had a hard time with one of them, and I was going to accept a return, but she was able to get the screw off and was absolutely in love with them, so that's good. And the cost to me on these, no more than $2. These were part of a box lot I had bought at an auction a while ago. Next item to sell was this vintage mid-century Hollywood Regency pair of cylinder wall sconces, and I believe these sold for less than the 150, so just gonna take a quick look. Mm, This okay, they were originally a lot higher, so 150 was what I got for them. Um, Nice set of mid-century wall sconces, and these sold for the 150, and the cost to me on them was $5. I picked these up on the 100-mile yard sale last year. Actually, the summer before last, and they sat forever. Once I listed them, they sold within a few months, but they got put aside and just not put up for a whole year, more than a year. Anyway, next item to sell was this set of 4 porcelain roses napkin rings, and these sold for $24. And the cost to me on these was $1. Next item to sell was this uh, Bromwell's measuring sifting, red-handled 1950s, and the hand crank. And this sold for $29. Cost to me on it was $2.99. Next item to sell was this vintage set of 4 milk glass spice jar with red lids, and these sold for $40. I picked these up at a yard sale this summer, and I paid $12 for the set. Next item to sell was this vintage small wood shelf, little plate shelf, and this sold for $22. Cost me was $1. Next item was this vintage antique carved wood cutout lettering key holder wall hanger, and this sold for $45, and the cost to me on this was $2.99. Next item to sell was this vintage hook rug from the 70s. I picked up 2 of these at an estate sale last spring, and this sold for $49. Actually, they both sold pretty quickly. I don't know if it was to the same person. They sold within a week or 2 of each other. So this one sold for $49, and the cost to me on it was $2. Next item to sell was this vintage 50s, 60s gold gilt box with in Italy with 2 saints inside, and this sold for $39, and the cost to me on it was $2.50. Next item to sell was a cloth teak Santa, and this sold for $38. I'm pretty sure this was on sale, so it's probably closer to $32. And the cost to me on it was about $4 to $5. I bought a lot of these at an estate sale. Also sold this one for $25, another cloth teak Santa. He was missing his skis, which were like look like tongue depressors, but may have been curled up at the end. And they're not here. So this sold for $25 again, probably $4 to $5 from the estate sale. Next item was this handmade, beautifully crafted silver beaded snowflake tree topper. This sold for $24, and the cost to me was $1.99. Again, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. And that was everything that I sold. That would have been the week after Christmas, the what did I say, 29th to the 4th, I believe. Mhm. Yeah, the 20 from December 29th to January 4th. So I hope that your sales are doing well. And again, I really wish that some people would share their sales so that we could all see what other people sell and, what they do well with. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.